Do you remember the first porno you ever saw?
Oh, the first porno. I don't.
I don't remember the title of mine, which is weird because you would imagine I hold on to weird details like that, but I don't remember the title. But I remember being at this woman, Sue Fitch, not her real name. But anyway, there's a family friend who she worked at the high school, and she knew my parents through my brother and sister.
Yeah.
And they became friendly. So my parents would hang out with her and go out to eat and blah, blah, blah. But we were over her house once. It was me and my dad and my mom and her. And they were going to go pick up pizza. And so they said that I could stay at her house, at Sue's house, where we were, with the dog while they went to pick up pizza. And so I was by myself in this strange house. Not that strange. I'd been there before, but I was by myself. And she had like one of the first VCRs. We didn't even have a VCR at that point. So I went through, she had a bunch of tapes in a drawer. And I was looking at her tape collection, and one was in the sleeve of like when you bought a video cassette.
Yeah, like
Sony
TDK
or whatever. TDK, yes. Let's go TDK. And it was a TDK sleeve, and the tape in it had a sticker on its spine that had been pulled off. Because you used to be able to label them.
Yeah.
So that caught my eye, and it looked like there was a piece of it left, and it looked professional. It didn't look like the sticker that you put on yourself.
Yeah.
It looked like a glossy sticker. So immediately I was drawn to it, popped it in, and it was a adult film, and I was just like, fucking jackpot, man, because I was never going to have access to this other than that. Bless you. Other than that way, like my parents. We're not porn people. And also, we didn't have VCR, so why would they have porn? But my old man didn't have like a stash of porn mags or anything like that. Like I said, I was stealing, adult mags from Katz's at that time. So I was like, this is like finding the Ark of the Covenant, for Christ's sake. Like I got my hands, because it ain't like now. Like you tell this story now to somebody who's like 18, 20, they're like, what are you talking about? Why didn't you just go to the internet and look at porn? There was no internet. And the only access you could have to adult material is happening onto your father's stash.
You can go even like with the advent of rental houses. It's not like you're going to go and get one.
They always kept the adult titles in a room you couldn't go near.
Yeah.
So I popped this shit in, and it was fucking. That's the first time I saw like penetration. It was fucked up. It was wonderful. It was like this chick and this guy, and they were fucking, and they fucked in a pool, and. Like it was underwater camera, and like they'd cut above and below the surface, and then homeboy was coming, and then he pulled out and he came in the pool, and it floated in the water, so I got to see like what a wad looked like in a pool and shit like that. It was like an education and shit. But the thing that had the biggest impact on me, that I still carry with me to this day, is the entire score of that porno was done on a kazoo. It was just and it was all kazoo. And so that was my first impression of sex, was like when you have sex.
It's kind of funny.
You hear, it's funny. It's silly. It's like a clown. And you hear a kazoo. And the first time I did have sex, in the back of my mind, all I heard was...
It'd be awesome if you were doing that, and the girl's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm like, what do you mean? We're having sex, right? You're scaring me, Kevin. She's like, I'm never fucking a fat guy again. This is terrible. Most scores have
Yeah, it's a little bit of bass.
Hammond organs and shit, or bass, a lot of bass oriented. This, though, all fucking kazoo.
Were you at all like...
Oh, I got hard instantly and jerked off.
But were
fast before they got home, and I stole the tape. Even though I didn't have a VCR.
And it never came up? Or
how could it come up, dude? What was she going to say? Like, Grace, can you ask Kevin if he borrowed a tape of mine? Yeah, exactly. But I put it back like the next time we were there. But it's so stupid that I stole it, because I took it home. I had no way to watch it. But I would just put it at the end of my bed. I'd jerk off looking at the video cassette. I'm like, it was dirty when I watched it.
With a fucking kazoo in your mouth.
Yeah, I'm like, can we go to the Five and Dime so I can pick up a kazoo? They're like, why? I'm like,
gives me a fucking hard on.
To this day, kazoo will give me a fucking instant boner. I don't know. I've just never. And I grew up in a house that was kind of. We were very conservative in our house, not politically, but just like. It ain't like it is today. Like some people see the movies and they're like, "You must have had real liberal parents." No, I didn't. Man, we went to church every Sunday and shit, and they weren't like hardcore holy rollers, but like, it was just, But
I always throw that out there as like part of like I always assume it's the opposite, which is like
the less you're shown, the more you're inclined.
That's my curiosity.
Ongoing experiment with Harley, which is like I haven't tempered my language around the kid. I will curse, drop the occasional F-bomb, and the kid has never cursed. I don't hear from like school doesn't call up and be like, your daughter said cocksmoker in class, or even not cocksmoker, like fuck or shit.
Yeah.
So by not making it taboo, based on the empirical experience that I have or the data, it hasn't created this kind of
little
sophisticated
sailor
air to it. Yeah, where she's like, ooh, if I want to sound old, I'll talk like them.
Yeah.
She doesn't do it.
Yeah.
I think, and I'm not saying like, so ladies and gentlemen, expose your children to pornography. But I'm just saying like, there's nothing wrong with a question that can be answered.
Yep.
Like, it's a harder question to answer if the kid's like, do you believe in God? It's hard for me to answer because I'm like, yes, but then she's immediately like, Mom doesn't. Mom says you're an idiot. And then I'm like, okay, well, some people have different beliefs, and maybe I
No. She says you're an idiot.
Yeah, I agree.
She said she'd say that.
Yeah.
And she said that makes you an even bigger idiot.
Yeah, well, she's right to some degree. Look, I'm conflicted about my beliefs as the older
Which makes you an idiot because you should know.
Yeah, I should, but sometimes some people learn.
Being indecisive is a weakness, Mom says.
Yeah, Mom has an absolute. Mom's right about everything, and this is no exception. But if I can just state my case for a moment, I'll say that learning is a continuous process, and you never stop learning. You're always learning, and maybe I'm reaching a point where I conclude that all these people are right. There is no God, but right now I was raised in a faith, and
You're clinging to some sort of thing like a life raft or childhood life raft of believing in imaginary beings.
I am. I'm chumming the waters with ignorance, but I those are the waters that I still swim in, and perhaps one day I'll swim in clear waters where I understand, as your mother says, there is no God, and I'm an idiot for believing that. But right now I still believe it, and it's okay to believe that. But I can't ever be like, well, hey, you believe in fucking Santa Claus? I say that, I don't know if she's with an earshot. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
But then it's going to make it even worse for me when she finally is like, fucking Santa. Look, I'm 9 and I don't believe in Santa Claus. How can you still believe in God and Jesus, you idiot? You've got no proof, shit like that.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, she's like, look, if I can give up reindeers and stockings, you should be able to give up with this fucking bearded man in the sky bullshit that runs your life. And I'm like, all right, well, it really
sold me.
You're really putting it on Front Street for me, kid. And I don't know. I'm just not that afraid of my kid. I'm afraid of things happening to my kid.
Yeah.
But I'm not afraid of my kid asking me questions, particularly about that. If I was smart, I would have been like, what's porno? I'll tell you what porno is. Porno fucking puts a roof over your head. How about that?
Yeah, what do you think of that?
Yeah, you want to go naked?
You want me to just take all the shit out of your room and burn them?
Yeah, how about that?
Because that would be reality.
Everything that you hold dear, including the dogs. How about that? Try that on for size. And would you like to go to school naked in front of all the kids you go to school with? Nude? In the nude?
Totally nude.
With your hoo-ha sticking out or what? I don't even know. She calls it. Jen's always been very good about that. There were no cute names for her gear. She calls it vagina, which always fucking makes me bristle when I hear them discussing it. Like, if Jen will be like, Harley will take a shower, and Jen will be like, did you wash your vagina? And I'll be like, what the fuck?
She's got a vagina.
It gives me license, though, to like, well, if that's how we're going to roll in the house, like if I see Jen coming out of the shower, I'm going to be like, did you wash your vagina? Which she would be offended
your
by.
version seemed a little
well, mine's more accusatory.
aggressive.
Yeah, I'm like, did you wash your vagina or what? Maybe I did. It's none of your fucking business, Kevin. Why are you
It is
asking?
my business. I get down there.
Half that vagina is mine. Keep that.
I pay for that vagina.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not as afraid of my kid as some people seem to be. I would really like to know if this woman in Boston who raised the stink has kids. Because if she doesn't, that's even more
I'll vote
inane.
yes.